Hello students, hope you found our last session to be interesting and informative at the same time. In our today's session, we will go through other types of intellectual property rights. But before we move on with new topics and new types of intellectual property rights, let us first just quickly revise as to what we had discussed in our last session so that those who missed out on the last video will be able to understand it in short. Now, last time we had discussed certain interesting intellectual property rights. Those are the copyrights and related rights. In our today's session, we will go through the patents, industrial designs, and trademarks to understand what these IPs are and how are they different from the other intellectual property rights. In our last session, we understood what intellectual property is all about, wherein we said that it is a creation of mind. If a person has created a property using that person's intellect, his hard work, his intellect, his brain, then in that case, he should get certain things in return as exclusive legal rights so that the environment of creativity and innovation will flourish, and at the same time the public interest will also be considered. The first topic which we discussed was certain international regimes with respect to protection granted to intellectual property rights. As we said, the World Trade Organization and United Nations have been working hard to promote and protect intellectual property rights. One of the institution under the UN was established, which is known as the World Intellectual Property Organization, commonly known as WIPO. Along with it, there were many international conventions and treaties which are signed between the parties, which promote various intellectual property rights and what sort of protection should be granted by their member states in their own country's legislation. One of the important international agreement protecting IP is your trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, commonly known as TRIPS agreement, which for the first time identified various new types of intellectual property rights and segregated each from other. Another topic which we discussed last time was the introduction to copyright. To understand what copyright is all about, like we said, copyright is protected in India under the Copyright Act of the year 1957, wherein the term of protection which is granted is lifetime of the author plus 60 years after the person's death. We said it is extended only and only to certain protected works, for example, literary works, dramatic works. As a recording the important are the films or musical compositions and choreography. Also, we had the artistic works or the advertisements. Computer programs and database being one of the important factor to be protected under the Copyright Act. We also studied certain concept known as neighboring rights or related rights, wherein we said that they are though not granted to the author or the creator of the work per se, but they are creative work which are connected to the actual author's work. So they protect the legal interest of the people or the legal entities which help or which contribute in making the work available to the public at large. In India, like we said, three are the main categories of neighboring rights holders or beneficiaries, which are the performers, the producers of sound recording, also referred to as phonograms, and the broadcasting organization. Even though they are not separately granted any specific right under the Copyright Act, but they are being granted broad rights, exclusive rights, for example, communication to public or covering the interactive services and delivery on demand. Today we will go ahead to understand another important IPR, that is one of the most commercially exploited IPR not only in India but throughout the world, and that is the patent. Now, patent sometimes is also referred to as patent in various Western countries, but the pronunciation which we carry ahead in India is patent. Now, this is one of such intellectual property right which is one of the most commercially exploited right throughout the world, for a simple reason: it has got something different than the other IPs, and that is some invention or novelty. When we studied copyright, you must have understood that we did not use any word like invention, or we did not use any word such as novelty, but the only word which we went ahead to use was original. That means if I have drawn a picture of a sunset, I get a copyright over that picture. But if somebody else has also drawn a picture of a sunset, I cannot say that your sunset picture is not novel, it is not an invention, or it is not new, and thereby you should not get any copyright of the work. The copyright law does not focus on that. The copyright law focuses only on originality of the work. But when you talk about patent, it does not focus only on originality, but it also focuses on one of the most crucial factor for patentable works, and that is it should be novel. Not only that it should be an invention, but it should also be novel. In India, we have the Indian Patents Act 1970, which is very much in compliant with the international treaties and conventions which India has signed, which grants patent to an invention for a period of 20 years from the date of application of the patent. And after 20 years, that invention comes into public domain. When I say public domain, I mean to say that after 20 years, the inventor will not get an exclusive right over that invention, and anybody and everybody can utilize that invention. So, a patent is an exclusive right which is granted for an invention, which is either a product or a process which provides in general a new way of doing something, or it offers a new technical solution to a problem. Now, to give you a small example, for the first time when a person might have invented a ball pen, till that time I think everybody was used to using only a pencil or a lead pencil. Imagine if a person for the first time invented a ball pen. It's an invention. Today we feel 5 rupees ball pen is not much. But imagine now, as it is very common, but let's say 20 years, 30 years, or I don't know when a ball pen was invented. But that time, invention of a ball pen might have been a very big achievement, because all the disadvantages of a pencil were erased. So that was an invention in those days. But today, if I invent a ball pen using the same technique, same material, nothing different than a particular ball pen which I get in a shop, it will not be called as an invention, because it is very much similar, or rather it is very much existing in the world. So, an invention in technical terms means something which is never known to humanity, means something which is done for the first time. Understand, there is a vast difference between invention and discovery. Discovery means that that particular subject matter or that particular product exists in the society or in the world. You have just found that product, then it will be called as discovery. But when you talk about invention, it means to say that it never ever existed in the entire world and you have done it for the first time. To give you a small example, we in India or even in any other country which believes in Ayurveda or indigenous or traditional knowledge, we have been using turmeric, halad je apan म्हणतो ते. We have been using turmeric as an antiseptic throughout our generations. If you get a cut while you are chopping an onion in the kitchen, the first thing which you apply on that cut is turmeric powder. Now, a pharmaceutical company in US tried, which was, pharmaceutical means a medicine making company. It tried to file a patent application in US, and the patent application said that it is an invention that using turmeric as an antiseptic in ointment म्हणजे मलम जे आपण एखाद्या दुखण्यावर लावतो. Using a turmeric in a medicine as an antiseptic in an ointment is an invention. and that is what they had mentioned in their patent application, and they had filed it with US. Now Indian government opposed that application, saying that usage of turmeric as an antiseptic or on cuts to stop the bleeding or as an antiseptic medicinal property related product, it cannot be considered to be an invention, because we in India have been using it for generations altogether, and that is why the US patent office rejected their application. So to become an invention, it must be unique, it must be something which never ever was thought about or never ever was brought up in the entire world. So the patent system is designed to encourage inventions which are unique and useful to the society. Likewise, unlike copyright, a patent does not arise automatically. You need to file an application with the patent office, and if the patent office is satisfied that your patentable invention has fulfilled all the required conditions given under the Patent Act 1970, then and then only it will go ahead and grant you the patent for 20 years. Now under the Patent Act, the important aspects for patentable inventions in India are as follows. The first thing is that it should be a patentable subject matter. Now the section 3 and section 4 of the Indian Patent Act 1970 go on listing out certain important criteria with respect to what can be patentable and what cannot be patentable. For example, if I am trying to patent a living organism, it cannot be considered to be an invention because it is already existing in the world, so it cannot be patented. Or I am trying to go ahead and patent any atomic energy related weapon. Now atomic energy related weapon can be disastrous to the entire society, so you cannot go ahead and patent that. But what can I patent is that anything which is related to, let's say, medicines, anything which is related to plants, or anything which is related to machinery, to manufacturing sector, or textiles, or medicines, pharmas, anything which is not harmful to the society. Firstly, it will be beneficial to the society, and it is something which is an invention in itself, can only be patentable. Next important factor under the Patent Act for getting a registration is that it should be novel. Now the word novelty or novel itself suggests that it should be unique. It should not be present in the public domain. That means it should not be known to anybody and everybody in the entire world. Then only you can consider it to be a novel. That means it should not fall in the public domain, or it should not be even a part of any state of the art. To give you a small example, let's say if I have written something, I have written a formula, or let's say I have written a formula whereby which I can manufacture a medicine to cure COVID, that is corona for example. Then in that case, if I have shared that formula of the medicine with my secretary, then it cannot be considered to be a novelty. For a simple reason, the minute I share it with my secretary, it will fall in public domain. That means unless and until you don't have confidentiality agreement with that person, it will be considered to be in public domain. Or another example is that, let's say if I have invented something related to a machinery, and that picture of that machinery I put it on my Instagram post, then it cannot be considered to be novel, because now it is in public domain, everybody knows about it, so there is no novelty and it cannot be patented. So when you talk about patents, be it in India or throughout the world, due care and very much care has to be taken of the fact that if you are going to file it as a patent with the patent office, your application, then in that case you have to make sure that whatever is your invention related documents, formulas, pictures, photographs, whatever is there, it should be kept as confidential, it should be kept a secret. You should only and only share the data with the people with whom you have signed a confidentiality agreement, and it then only will not be considered to be a public domain. Otherwise it will not be a novel and thereby cannot be patented. Another important point is that it must have an inventive step, and it should be non obvious. Now this is a feature of invention which involves a bit of technical advance as compared to existing knowledge, or having some economic significance, or both, and that makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in that art. Now to give you a small example, let's say I have invented a medicine and I have filed a patent for it, and the patent office has granted me the patent for that medicine. Now after 2 years, let's say I work with a pharmaceutical company, and that pharmaceutical company has received the patent of that medicine. After 2 years, a competitor of that pharmaceutical company tries to make the same medicine but with a bit of difference in that medicine. For example, if that medicine uses component A, this competitor company used the product B, component B, and tried to file it with the patent office saying that it is an invention of a new medicine. Now if the patent office feels that that new medicine for which we have received the application is very much obvious to the already granted patent to the earlier pharmaceutical company, then the patent office will not grant any registration. For a simple reason, it is just you are modifying the existing patent which is very much obvious. However, if that component B is going to 100% change the utility of that medicine, then the patent office may consider your application. But if it is just you are changing component A with component B, which is not going to make much of a difference to the utility of that medicine, use of that medicine, or the benefits of that medicine, then in that case it will not be an invention, because there is no inventive step in that medicine or that application. And the last point under the Patent Act is that it should be capable of industrial application. Now like we said in the beginning, not only in IPR regime but also under the patent regime, the patents or the IPRs are granted to the invention or creations only if it is going to be utilized for the benefit of the society. Let's say I get a patent over my invention and I don't make any use of that particular invention. I keep it locked in my locker and I'm not using it for the society benefit, I'm not using it for my commercial purpose or for the industrial use. I've just got the patent from the patent office and I've kept it in my locker. Then in such cases the authority gets a right to revoke your patent for a simple reason. One of the important aspects of Patent Act is that your invention should not only be capable of industrial application but it should also be made use in the industry. So whatever invention I am making, if it is not capable of utilizing it in the industry, then it cannot be patented. I have let's say invented a machine to make suitcases, for example. But that machine, if I am not going to get the spare parts of that machine, if nobody will be able to use that machine technically, if that machine is such which cannot be used properly and efficiently in an industry, then that machine will not be granted any patent. So when you talk about patent law, it is somewhat different than your copyright law, but yes, it is one of the most commercially utilized IPR for but obvious reasons, because you get an exclusive right to reject everybody from utilizing your invention for a period of 20 years from the date of your application. Another important IPR which we will discuss today is your industrial design. Now the word industrial design, you might think that it might be related to some art or drawing, but that is not the case. Tomorrow, let's say I want to start my own manufacturing company of making glass bottles, kasecha batlia. But whatever machines are available in the market, I don't find them user friendly. So what I do is that I contact my friend who is, let's say, into the designs and this particular industry, and I tell that friend of mine that I want to start a manufacturing company for manufacturing glass bottles. Please help me in making a customized machine which will be so user friendly, so cost effective, and so fast, quick and efficient that nobody till date has made such type of machine for using of manufacturing of glass bottles. So this friend of mine draws a design, uses his mechanical knowledge, and draws a design of a machine which is so composite, which is so important from the utility point of view. It is user friendly, it is cost effective, and it can be used by a single person, highly mechanized and simple to use machine. Now this friend of mine says that this is an excellent design, why not we go ahead and register it as a unique thing under the Design Act in India. I, as a friend of his, I motivate him, and we go and file an application with the registry and registrar, and we say that we want to register this design. Now in this case, if that particular machine is only good from utility point of view, that means functional point of view, then the registrar will say that why don't you go and file it under the Patent Act, because it does not look good to my eyes. That means even though it has got some industrial process or industrial application, it is not getting any aesthetic value. Then in that case the design registry can reject it. However, if I am a jewelry maker, me jeweler आहे, I draw beautiful design of a necklace and I get emerald on them, I get diamonds on them, I get any other costly stones on it, and I find that nobody till now has drawn a piece of such jewelry till date. I go to the registrar and I say that I want to register this particular jewelry piece as a design, industrial design, because I want to start the production of this industrial design on mass basis and sell it as unique points. Now if the registrar feels that yes, it is aesthetic, it has got aesthetic value, means it is looking good to eye, the registrar can register it under the Designs Act of the year 2000 in India. So under the Designs Act, industrial designs means a design, the feature of shape or configuration or a pattern or an ornament or a composition of lines, be it color, which is applied to an article, be it in two-dimensional or three-dimensional, by any industrial process. The finished article, most important is that the finished article must appeal to and judged solely by eye. The word solely by eye means keeping apart the utility and functionality of that particular product. If that design is looking beautiful to eyesight of the registrar, it can be accepted as an industrial design. The most important purpose of design registration is to see that the artisans or creators or the originators of the design having aesthetic look, they are not deprived of their bona fide reward by others applying it to their own goods. Now the registration of design is valid for a period of 10 years, which can be renewed for a further period of 5 years. And after this total 15 years, the design, industrial design, comes into public domain. Now the last concept of IPR, type of IPR, which we'll discuss today, is that of a trademark. Now this word trademark is something which you might have heard many times on various logos or on various names. You would have seen encircled R, which is generally there, which talks about the registered trademarks. Now the word trademark, it refers to the recognizable insignia or a phrase or a word or a symbol that denotes a specific product and is legally differentiating that product from the other products. For example, Coca-Cola, or for example Dell, or for example any other Bajaj or TVS, or for example Saregamapa or Himalaya. Nokia. Such are the products which are, because of their brand name, because of their name which they are using in their trade, and they are using it in their entire work, they are differentiated with other products, and that is the importance of trademark. Now a trademark, it exclusively identifies a product as belonging to a specific company and recognizes the company's ownership of the brand. In India, we have got the 1999 Trademark Act, which deals with the registration and protection of trademarks and also recognizes the concept of well-known trademark, which we will discuss further. The term of protection granted for trademark is 10 years, which can be renewed after every 10 years. That means the protection under trademark law is perpetual. Once you register it for 10 years, you can keep on renewing it for further 10 years. Again, further 10 years, the renewal is possible. And that is why the protection which is granted to trademarks is considered to be perpetual. In our next session, we will be dealing with other different types of IPR. Thank you so much.